Thank you so much, Bright, for the introduction. And good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you, sharing this experience. Thank you to PSPS for the invitation. So, as Bright said, my name is Margarita Gloria. I am in the last batch. Probably we couldn't share so many time together, but I think you are having a very good experiences in Korea as we have in our batch. I will share with you the experience, the knowledge transfer process that I had in my country after returning from Korea. At the first moment, I will introduce about the context for today's presentation and also who I was before Korea and a small timeline background about my professional and academic career. Then I explain in this introduction about why I choose Korea, what was my expectation before and what I found when I stayed there, studying and living for more than 1 year. Then I will move quickly in this introduction to the lessons that I learned. And after that, we will focus in the main topic of the seminar that is from learning to impact. So I will present the project. Then I will be doing a reflection about my personal transformation and encouraging you guys to think about how you can spread your experience also in your countries when you return. And finally, my gratitude and my final words of this seminar. So let's start. Before I arrived to Korea, I have to confess that I've never watched K-dramas, never. I haven't listened to K-pop, never. So 2 years ago, I arrived to Korea at this video. This video was taken by Yada from Morocco. We arrived at the same time to Incheon Airport. And I was like thinking about what will be the next step. But before, when I was in my country, I signed a contract with my institution, and my compromise was to transfer the knowledge to my country. So I have focus and a mission also already when I was starting this journey in Korea. So at this moment, I was looking not only to have a degree, I was thinking about how can I make this experience meaningful for my country? How can I have this opportunity, this information, the contacts, the technology, everything that I can learn, how can I be tool for my country? So this is the photo on the left, and the photo on the right is after Korea. This was last month. I was working with different directors of my institution and sharing the experiences and also working in new ideas. This seminar is not about gain a degree or be the best water engineer after you return to your countries or get maybe a promotion. No. I think my mission here today with you guys is to encouraging you to do a meaningful experience then when you return back home. As a public servers, I think we have a mission, so we have to do it. In this part, I want to introduce what I was before Korea. Not just to highlight the path, academic or professional experience, but it's important to note that before I went to Korea, I also have experience like 15 years of environmental engineering, working in areas such as water resource management, environmental licensing, and later at SINA. SINA is the company that I work now. This is the Colombian Training System Center, and is absolutely public and absolutely free, and is spread around our country. And now I'm involved in the curriculum development and vocational education. So in this illustration, you can see that this journey has a timeline, and here in 2024, I had the wonderful notice by the at that time, Ms. Young was the coordinator at PSPS of our program, that I was selected to participate in this experience. It doesn't matter, guys, how many degrees we have before and how many professional experience we have before we start this wonderful journey. But the matters is how you connect everything that you have with everything that you receive in Korea. In this, I think it's not enough. I think the time that we have there is not enough, but it's just the necessary to discover some things that you can improve in your countries. Why Korea? Why Korea? When people ask me what I found in Korea, everybody was, I think you will have this experience when you return back home. Everybody want to know, how was the experience? Give me the details about the food. Is that true? That, you know? So people ask me what I found in Korea. And many expect to talk about technology or advanced laboratories or academic excellence. And yes, we found that in Korea. But that I found was something much more valuable. In this illustration, I show 7 principles. I think can be more, but for me, these are the 7 principles that I found in Korea. The first one is the discipline. So I learned that excellence is not something you achieve once. It is built through consistency, commitment, and responsibility every single day. The second one is the cooperation. I saw how the universities, government, in the special lectures, when you do the field trips, you can see that also the industry and communities work together toward common goals. The third one is the innovation. For me, this is my favorite because innovation is not simply inventing something new. It is developing practical solutions that improve people's lives and create real value society. The fourth one is respect. Respect for people, respect for rules, respect for the nature. We found in Korea that if people say not, is not. If people say yes, is yes. In my culture, in my country, this is not common. So for me, it was a big lesson that I gained in this wonderful country. Continue with the teamwork. I can say that the great achievements are really individual. They are a result of people working together, sharing responsibility, and pursuing a common vision. Of course, Semaul and Don is in the list. Our faculty, PSPS faculty, and Semaul and Don for me is more than a rural development movement. It represents a philosophy of self-help, diligence, cooperation, and community leadership. It showed me that lasting transformation starts with people mindset before it appears in policies or infrastructure. Finally, the culture, of course. Korean culture, I experienced the places with great value of education, harmony, respect, and continuous learning. So looking back to Korea, I can say that this country did much more than educate me. It changed the way that I understood leadership, development, and the role of each us can play creating positive change. Lessons related with water issues. The first one is that the water is not only an environmental resource, it is a development strategy. So the most big example for that is, of course, K-Water, that integrate water supply, flood control, hydropower generation, drought management, and climate adaptation into a single long-term strategy. My lesson is that sustainable water management begins with integrated planning, not with isolated projects that we do in our country. This was our very first trip. We went to Daejeon Dam with Professor So, and we stayed in the K-Water Academy Daejeon school. And this is in the Daejeon Dam, sorry for the pronunciation. And this measure is very, very meaningful. The miracle of having lived and the miracle of continuing to live, the most precious person in the world is you. You, each one of you are the most wonderful and beautiful and precious person. So this was the first lesson about the water, no like an environmental issue. It's more than that. A good example of that is the Four River projects. I think the professors in the different lectures explained you this project. With this project, the goal was improving water quality, reducing flood risks, increasing water availability during droughts, restoring ecosystems, and supporting regional development. As a water resource engineer, this changed my perspective. I realized that sustainable water management is not only about protecting rivers, it's about planning the future as a country. So here you can see like the headlines about the Four River project. Okay, the next one is the technology alone is not enough. People make the difference. So at this video, you can see this is I know you know the place, of course, and these wonderful women volunteer working in the public areas. Then you can see this picture. When I show this picture here, people can't believe. People said, what? What is that? Is a tree with treatment, medical treatment? What is that? So at this point, I can say that was impressing me most was the inside the technology, inside the innovations, inside the are the people, and taking care of the streets, taking care of the plants, taking care of the animals, make the difference. Also, we have to say that K-Water Smart Water Management Center and digital twin of the Han River, smart graphing, AI for algal bloom prediction, automated water treatment plants, of course, human capacity building through K-Water Institute. But the point here is that the places are made by people, and I think you know that this in Korea. Moving to the international cooperation, highlight that this is our picture in the KOICA orientation. We were very, very happy this day meeting each other from different countries, and that we can notice that was the international cooperation really makes sense when you select people that can spread and that can multiply the knowledge and the alternatives and the information that you provide. And I think KOICA is very focused in that. For example, in Colombia, this is a cooperation report, and they have a lot of projects, not only in educational sector, also projects about water system treatments, and also educational projects in the schools with different kind of population. But though this is international cooperation. Of course, knowledge has value only when this is shared. These are some pictures about our special lectures. I think you guys enjoy also your special lectures. So after that, I will move to the main topic of this seminar, that is about the project that has 3 axes. The first axis is the wastewater treatment plants. The second axis is the 3 new virtual programs. And the final axis is the knowledge dissemination. So I will explain in detail each one of these chapters of the project. Remember my first question when I arrived in Asian. I was thinking about how can I multiply everything I had learned in Korea. So the answer was simple, by sharing the knowledge. I work at SINA, you know, this is the National Training Service, is the country's largest public institution for vocational education and training. We provide free education we have an offer for more than 4,000 programs in different levels. And this gave me a unique opportunity to transfer that I learned in Korea into initiatives that could benefit thousands of people. My knowledge transfer plan has focused. The first, I was participating as a contract supervisor. I will show you that in the design of 2 wastewater treatment plants in my country. I also participate in the design of 3 new programs. One of the programs is inspired in the lectures with Professor So, and also the knowledge dissemination. So let's move for the first project. It's divided into plants, wastewater treatment plants. So you can see in this picture, this is the center where I work. They have some environments where the students, we call learners or apprentices, can practice and can do some processes during their formation. So this is the dairy unit. In the dairy unit, they produce about 100 to 200 liters of milk and cheese and other products based of milk. So I want to show you the location. So you are now 14 hours more than us. And here is Colombia in the north part of South America. Our city is like in the border to Venezuela. And this is our city in the north part of Colombia. And we are in the rural area, our center. And let me show you. Okay, this is the street. And then if we enter to the center, we can see a big farm. It's a big farm. And in this farm, we have the dairy unit. The dairy unit is here and the next unit. So what is this project? What is the information about the project? So the situation is that now this dairy unit is discharging directly to the sewer system without treatment. There is any treatment in the process. So what is the solution that I propose? Okay, let's design a domestic wastewater treatment plant to reduce the environmental impact. In this kind of waters, the goal treatment or the treatment goals parameters are the fats, the oils, and the stabilization of pH because of the milk. So my role was that I was the contract supervisor, and I was in charge to ensuring technical quality and compliance and sustainability. What's the next? The next is that the construction will be start next year, 2027. This is the budget in US dollars, so maybe you can have a reference. Maybe you know these kind of technologies. This is a very simple technology, but with these kind of solutions, I remember at this time a Professor Young with the appropriate technologies. With these kind of solutions, we can ensure that the water will be clean before go to the system, to the river system. Next project is similar, that is in the swine unit. So we have different units, swine unit, dairy unit, environmental unit also, but the big problems were these two units. Here, the learners are studying for or training to be working in the future in this kind of systems. For this treatment, the key or the point for the goal was to remove first the organic and the solids, of course. Second, the microorganisms, because we have, fecal indicators as Escherichia coli and others, and also the sludge production. The sludge production in this kind of waters is heavy. So as you can see, maybe the system before is simple. This is more complex because we have here the sludge system, and then we also have the disinfection system. For this project is the same. We will start next year with the construction, and this is the budget that we have for the construction. At this unit, we have about 15 areas, 15 big areas with different ages of the swine units. So we have to design also the hydraulics, Professor taking care hydrology, Professor Choi. So yeah, applying everything that we learned in Korea. Okay, let's move for the next chapter of the project is about the new training programs. So with this project, we designed, or I participate in the design of 3 new training programs. The first one is planning actions for environmental flow studies in Colombia. It's a short-time course, only 48 hours, and is virtual. It's for free, conducted in Spanish. That is our main language. What is the goal of this program? That the learners, the participants, will be planning technical studies for environmental flows. Of course, the people that will be training in these topics is a people that works already in the waters area, because they need a background for understand the topics that we develop in this course. What will be the learning outcomes? Identify the scope of environmental flow studies, select appropriate methodologies for environmental flow assessment, and plan the technical activities and resources required for environmental flow studies. The second program is the development of water use efficiency and conservation programs. It's the same duration, a small course, short-term course conducted virtually, but at this program, the participants will be establishing the baseline of water demand, identifying problems within water use systems, selecting appropriate water-saving technologies and solutions, and developing a water use efficiency and conservation program, taking in account our local and national regulations. The final program, Professor So, is the assessment of rainwater availability as a climate change adaptation strategy. With this course, we pretend that the people can interpret precipitation data under different climate scenarios and evaluate rainwater harvesting and reuse alternatives for different contexts and needs. So why these programs and no others? Because before I start with the design, I check the actual offering that we have in my country and the lacks. And I notice that we don't have these topics. So for this reason, I select these programs. These programs will be starting next year. I will show you in the next slide. First, public will be the instructors. So our structure is that there is the centers. We have 118 centers. Each center has instructors, and the instructors conduct the programs. So we need, first of all, have the instructors trainer in these three programs. Okay. I want to show you a little bit more about this interesting design of the programs. I am not working alone. I am working with three technical instructors from different cities of the country, one curriculum design professional, one instructional designer, one graphic designer, and me working as a methodological advisor and technical expert. This is the flow chart of the project. So we start on June and we are finishing this month. Finishing. What is the plan? We finish the program, then start the training of the instructors, and then in the first trimester, the first month of, I think, April, we can open the programs to the public for start the training. I think with these programs, we will impact, we are open to our country, to our citizens, professionals, also students that are in the universities took this kind of programs. So the third part of the project is the knowledge dissemination event. What is that? This is like a small course divided in 10 sessions, and the course has inscription people that is into the topic, and after the 10 sessions, they got a certificate, official certificate of the government that they took this knowledge dissemination event. So I conduct this event. You can scan this QR code and see all the sessions. The only thing is that are in Spanish. You can see here, I start on March 18. With the KOICA scholarship process, are how you can study abroad commission, explaining what is KOICA and what is the scholarship and what the kind of programs, what are the universities that are offering this wonderful opportunity. The second session was the advising, the tips, how people can prepare for the trip, like our trip before Korea. So I explained about the luggage, about the health things, everything that I could explain. Each session was 30 minutes only. And the third one was life in Korea as a student. So I explained about the dormitory, about the university, the transportation, the health system, the culture, the things that you can learn, the places that you can visit in Korea also. Then I explained about the master degree. So I focus into the lectures, the professors, and everything that we have like curricular, extracurricular activities in the PSPS faculty, in the Hakio. Then I moved to the opportunities for knowledge transfer between Korea and Colombia in the drinking water and basic sanitation sector. So at this time, I present K-Water Academy. I present some events that will be conducted in Korea next month, like conference, international conference. Also the environmental process in Korea, because this was a chapter on my thesis. And also I present my thesis. I present the study that we did with Professor Beck about the Q SWAT. I also present the project that we work with Professor So and Fernando from Ecuador and Sifa from Rwanda about the three tropical climate zones and the circular economy of water under climate change scenarios. And the final session was like a reflection. Some of things that I shared with you today also was shared in this kind of event. So this is like the certificate that I want to show you. So every people was 40 people that gained the certificate. Okay. These are some pictures that I translate for this seminar because the original are in Spanish, about the, the e-cards for the events, for the conferences. So my personal transformation, guys, I think I don't want to talk about me. I want to encourage you about how you can use all the tools, all the information that you are receiving in Korea and you will receive next month, and how you can change your thinking, how you can change your personal life and your future goals. Now I can say I am a master degree in water resource management of Yeungnam de Hakyo, and I can say that yes, some recognitions like Creativity Excellence and the PSPS Action Plan competition, the second place, but this is not very important. Also, I am working in 2 scientific publications about the thesis. The very important thing, guys, is that the personal transformation is from inside to outside. The opportunity to know people from different countries, Africa, Asia, South America, the professors, the PSPS staff, the city, the Korean people, everything changed our mind. And we don't have to be the same. I think it does not have sense if you return to your country and do the same. I think you have to do something more in your countries. I really encouraging you for do something more in your countries, because this is our mission, guys. This is our mission. So the time is finishing of my lecture. I want to say thank you so much. I want to say that Korea is my second home. I really want to go again, just for visiting, I don't know, for studying more. But guys, please do something different for your country.